Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and in this video what I wanted to do is show you a template I created for making a developer portfolio and to show you how you can get started using it. It is using NextJS, which is a React-based framework, so if you are comfortable with React and NextJS, this is a great template to start with. Some of the features that it has is that a lot of the styling is already kind of very variable-based. So actually, I'll just show you. So basically, here's a repo. The link will be in the video description. But essentially what it is, it's set up as a template. So you can see here, it says use this template button. If you ever want to make one of your own repos a template, you just go to settings and click this template repository button. Now the cool thing about a GitHub template is I can click this use this template button, and you can click it as well. And then it'll let you create a copy of the repo as a new repo in your GitHub account. So we'll just call this like example portfolio 2022. Okay, so then I create this repository. And see what it is making a copy of the repository. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go open up a blank folder. Open folder. Development. Teaching. Scratch. Videos. Create a folder called portfolio. There we go. And so now what I go over here is I'm going to see now I have this new repo. So you can see like this is the repos I named it, and see it's generated from my template. I can click on here in code to get the little URL so I can clone the repo. Head over to VS Code. Open up the terminal in VS Code. And then I just do a git clone, and then we'll paste the URL. And then I'll give it some name. We'll just say, hey, my portfolio. Okay, and there we go. So there's my project, my portfolio. So now what I can do is I can go separately, go open that now in VS Code. So that way just that's the workspace. So portfolio, my portfolio. And there we go. Okay, so here's basically the layout of the project. So once it's cloned, this is what you'll see. So first let's start off with the data. And actually let's just show you what this looks like to start with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up in a new terminal. I'm going to do a Npm Install. So that way it installs all the dependencies. So let that install all the dependencies. Okay, that's all set to go. And I can do an npm run dev to run the development server. Okay, cool. It's just doing the thing. And now see it's running on port 3000. So I can go now open up the browser, go to localhost 3000. And then essentially this is what the template looks like. Again, the idea behind this portfolio is that you're going to implement the design. So you need to kind of decide how you want your portfolio designed. But this is going to have a lot of functionality and a lot of the basic pieces set up so that way you can kind of get to work pretty quickly. And I'm going to keep working on it and adding more to it. So there'll be even more. But basically what it is, you have this nav bar, which links to a blog, which is actually built in. So you have a built-in blog in this template. It's a static markdown blog, so you don't have to worry about implementing that. And we'll show you how that works. But basically, if I click here, then I can see all the different posts. Then I'll link to your GitHub, your LinkedIn, and your Twitter. Now, the cool thing is a lot of those links are all set up in this data folder. So in this case, instead of you having to go in there and like edit everything right off the bat, a lot of the stuff that's specific to you, you just edit these files. So like this is object called about where you can put your name. So if I were to change this to like Alex Merced, and then change this to Alex Merced's portfolio. And then let me go find the snapshot, but you can see like it's already starting to change. I go over here and say like images.google.com and like Google Alex Merced. I'm very Googleable. Okay, that works for me. Copy image address and then head over to here. Okay, and if I go back to the main page, okay, I can see like, hey, look, there I am. Okay. And that's all just based on this section right here. I can change the description, the list of skills, put in like the GitHub URL, so forth. Okay. Now, if I go over here, the projects, this is the array of projects. So that array will show up down here in these cards. Okay, so basically for that basic functionality, you don't have to really do anything. Now the colors you can also change as well. So I could be like here, I want color 1 to be blue, red, and I should start seeing changes already on the website. So you see the blue there. And see there's the red. So you can actually change just the colors of the theme right here. And you can add more variables to this. So if you can add more variables to this and then use them in the style. So this is styled using styled components. So if I were to go look at that main page, so if you ever use Next.js, all the individual pages are in the pages folder. So like the main page would be index.js. Okay, and you can see here that I'm using this component called main wrapper and a component called row, heading. And you're like, where do these components get defined? Okay, all these components are coming from the styled components folder, in this case in a file called main page. So if you want to change how those components are styled, just head over to main page, and then you can change each one. But notice I use the variables when I can. Okay, so this way, you can just change the variables in the theme file, in the theme object, without having to necessarily change the styles if you don't want to. So, style things to your liking, but what I would recommend is, again, just defining those variables in your theme object, and that way later on, if you want to change your theme, it's just really easy. You just change that object instead of having to change all your CSS and change that variable multiple times. Okay, but basically in here you can kind of find pretty much where all the styling is coming from. Okay, so basically there's really 3 pages that are actually part of the page. There's the main page, the blog page, which is the listing of all the individual blog posts, and then this file right here, the slug.js. This is like basically the template for each individual post. So when you click on an individual post, it's using this page. Okay, so just so you know, like if you want to style that page, so if I want to style like how an individual post looks like, so I click here on blog, I see an individual post and I click on it. Okay, so this is that slug.js file. So that's where you would go to style that. Okay, and then if I go to last piece is the posts folder. That's this folder right here. So not the posts folder inside pages, but the top level post folder. This is where you put your blog posts. Okay, and basically you can literally just copy this example post.md. These are just markdown files. And you would just like basically make a duplicate of this file and then just change all these settings to match it. But make sure that you keep these fields, okay? Because basically the way that the page is currently set up is based on those fields. So you would just fill these in and then write down your post below these 3 dashes. And then basically it'll just start populating the page. So you can add another post and another post and another post. And the cool thing is that they're statically rendered. So that means the website's going to load really fast when it's deployed because you're not having to render these pages on every request. It's also going to be better for search engine optimization. So it's going to be blazing fast, good search engine, very secure. Okay, you don't have to worry about someone really like messing up your website or finding any security holes because there's nothing that's really going to be dynamically generated on the server side per request, the way this template's set up. So that's basically how this template is set up. So, and again, the main layout, so basically every page is wrapped by this layout component. And you can see here this layout component, here's where you would put like any meta tags. And then there's a header and footer component, and then the contents of the page are wrapped by the header and footer. So the header is like the navigation bar. So that's what this component is showing you, the navigation bar. And then the footer is just like that one little line of text, and that's right there. So again, if you want to edit these things, they're all kind of pretty organized and easy for you to do so. And again, the ability to just like lay out your different like portfolio projects is already pretty much built in. The ability to have a blog is already built in. So pretty much most of what you need off the bat for your developer portfolio is kind of built in right off the bat. So take advantage, use the repository. If you want to be nice, leave a star on the template, or follow me on GitHub. Also make sure to subscribe and like the video, and follow me on Twitter at AlexMercedCoder. But otherwise, have a great day. Hopefully you guys enjoy this template and you find it useful. Have a great day and enjoy.